I've become interested in filmmaking, I think, ever since I was a child. And I was always going to movies all the time. And I never thought of it making films as something I would actually do. I said, oh, you have to know someone, you have to have a Hollywood connection. So I said to myself that I'll try to get on the periphery of the industry. I'll try to be a production designer. And I studied industrial design, and when that didn't work out, I started taking film classes, and I said, you can just start making films. I mean, no one's going to stop you. So I just started making films, and I started out as an animator because that's the most economical way for anyone to get involved in filmmaking. And I made my first animated film, Castle. What I did was I took all these drawings and Xeroxed them and colored them different colors so that they would appear to be animated. And I just put one drawing after the other and made an animated film. After that project, I said to myself, I'm never going to do another animated film again because it takes forever to do animation. And I quit animating, I would say, for about 8 to 9 years. I didn't do any more animation. For my epic 27-minute documentary, I did some brush drawings, and I started getting into doing brush drawings. Brush drawings, I find, require me to be a lot quicker. Like, you have to do a proper brush drawing, you have to almost not think. You have to think about what you want to draw and move your wrists, really quickly. And you get such beautiful images that I said that I think this is the kind of style of drawing that I want to continue doing, brush drawings. Whereas when I find myself doing pen and pencil drawings, I get really laborious and I really puzzle over each detail, and I don't feel I'm as free. So I like pixel vision a lot because it's a camera that you just pick up and shoot. I mean, you can't focus a camera, and most pixel vision cameras, you can't control the exposure, except I have a camera that you can. So I consider shooting with a pixel vision camera like when I do my brush drawings. I don't really think. I just pick up a camera and shoot. I mean, I know subconsciously I frame my subjects and I worry about getting close enough to the subject to get good audio, but I'm not, like when I'm shooting with, I guess, a CP16 or an Arriflex camera, I've got to wonder, wait, the film has to be loaded in this way, I have to check the ASA, I have to do the light reading. And after I do all that, I said, God, that's a lot of work. So that's what I like about pixel vision. I think it works for dream sequences, but I don't think pixel vision works if you try to do a traditional documentary. Like, for example, if we shot this in pixel vision, people would kind of say, why the hell are you doing this? I mean, it's just, you want to see your subject look really clear. But if you're doing something that's more in the experimental bent, I think pixel vision works well. I kind of broke the rule recently because I did a documentary on my mother who passed away a couple months ago. And I shot with pixel vision, and I kind of defend my choice of shooting with pixel vision. I felt that if I shot some of the footage, especially in the cemetery, using my mini DV camera, it'll be too real. You'll be like, God, this is kind of gruesome. But if you shoot with pixel vision, it's kind of like taking a Xerox of an image, and it kind of removes some of the immediacy of it. I ended up making a piece of my mom, even though I said to myself, I'm never going to make a documentary on my mom. I've already mined the topic of doing a death in my family. So I said, that's not going to happen. And I started making a silly documentary on pudding. There's a shop, I think it's in the Lower East Side, called Rice to Riches, and they sell rice pudding. And I said, oh, $5 rice pudding. That reminds me of the scene in Pulp Fiction where they had the $5 milkshakes. So I started riffing on there, started writing essays about pudding, and started thinking about, wait a minute, it's your mom that serves you your first pudding. So I said, I'll just bring in a little shot of my mom on the answering machine, leaving a message wishing me a happy birthday. And then my mom started taking over the piece. And I was really fortunate that I had footage of my mom talking about myself as a child, because I said to my mom, I'd like to shoot something for school. So I interviewed her, when I was back on a Christmas break. And there's always hindsight. I wish I had shot more footage, but I had this footage to kind of build the whole piece around. So I started writing a couple essays about my mom, recording narration into a mic, and shooting pixel vision footage that fit. And, I created a piece. And I made a piece I thought was finished. I showed it to my friend. He's a Sundance filmmaker, so and so I really trust his judgment. And he pointed out, some of the flaws in the piece, and he really got me thinking. So I dug a lot deeper into myself than I would have really have liked to have done. I think that's sometimes a problem. You either tell too much about yourself, and people say, this guy is so full of himself, or you hold back a little bit and say, I can't share this, so it's a little bit personal. And I think you need to have a balance that you share a little bit about yourself, but you don't tell everything, because it's like you got to keep some secrets. But at this point, I realized that, I can make a film, I can get into a film festival, but I need to get my filmmaking up to the next level. And I want to get to the point where my filmmaking is like a jazz saxophonist riffing on a saxophone during a jam session, that your filmmaking is organic and natural,